All right, everybody got me? Well, it's a great day to be a Razorback, I can tell you that. And I'm excited to get back out on the field on Friday. We've just transitioned into our second quarter. Matter of fact, this is our championship Monday day. And so we introduce our second quarter, and our second starts out with second quarter mat drills. Coaches ran, introduced it on Friday. Had it this morning. That's why we're all a little bit hoarse, but I've been very pleased with the second winter conditioning under Coach True and our strength staff. It's amazing to see the transformation from year one going through it the first time, and now to where these guys are coming out of the second winter conditioning. So excited to see that. There is a noticeable difference. There's a noticeable difference in their bodies and the conditioning. Obviously, the expectations, as you would expect in year two, and a noticeable difference in our culture, which was mandated and demanded by everybody in this building. You know, we're talking just briefly about culture and our program culture. We're at a next step in it. It's time to take the next step. And I talked briefly about this earlier, was that year one, you teach the culture, and you spend a lot of time teaching the culture. And I could talk all afternoon on culture because it's a belief that drives a behavior that produces a result. And if you don't like the results you're getting, you might need to look at the behavior. And from the behavior to the belief. And so we've reverse engineered this, and this has been part of our of coaching and a part of my past for many years. And we are taking that next step. But it's not something you come in and you spend a short period of time on. It's something that's every day. It's every part of your day. And year one, you teach it and instill it and demand it and hold them accountable, hold your coaches accountable. And year two, you start the transformation into how to live the culture and to make it a habit. I want to build a program to last, something that is going to be very much a pride across this great state. And to do that, there's got to be structures and a culture that has to be instilled and demanded. Team bonding, that's another thing that is really has been evident as we come into the second quarter, becoming a closer football team. That is something that I've been very impressed with. That's something that we talked about. Again, you know, you go through a coaching change and people are learning each other. It's really it's hard to do everything in a short period of time. And so one of the things we talked about as a staff is we have to become a closer team. And so we did that. So and are doing that currently. We were intentionally to make that a part of our everyday. And from mandatory meals, breaking bread together, sitting down together, had a recruit and his family in the other day, and they made reference to me. We went over to the Jones Center to eat breakfast, and they made reference to me of how really special it looked to see our entire team or guys just basically occupying two full tables, sitting and eating and fellowshipping together. So that again, that's small, but again, it's a big deal as you build unity and build continuity. And so we've been very intentional with that and understanding that's part of being a good teammate, is understanding your role and everyone's role. The other thing that I think has helped with this is the earn everything by everyone mentality, coming back and earning the logo that so many people have worked so hard to get and to wear and to be so prideful in, to earn it. And from coaches to trainers to water girls, water guys, equipment staff, everybody took the approach on and to watch these guys earn it back, and to see guys like Cam Curl and Scooter tweeting out of, hey, make sure everybody comes to breakfast because we get points, and those points will get us earnest gear back. And so again, the accountability that encompasses with the earn everything mentality. As a staff, meeting with our staff on the emphasis of the second spring, is there was really one thing that we wanted to come out of spring with, and that is we want to become more fundamentally sound in all three phases: offense, defense, and special teams. And that's I know that's a big net and it's a big umbrella, but it's in the grand scheme of things, what does fundamentally sound mean? That you got to be able to execute and at a very high level the small things that's asked of you. Start with special teams. I'm excited. Barry Lunny is our special teams coordinator. I felt like that the continuity of our staff, while we may not have been able to do that in year one because there was a lot of moving parts, the continuity of our staff has allowed me to move Barry in that position. I know it's a collective effort. All coaches will be involved in special teams, but Barry will be the point person. I think we'll be more efficient in some areas. Daniel DePrado joins us from the University of Colorado, which will serve as our analyst in special teams. He's got an incredible background. He comes from a coaching family. He's coached at a high level and has been successful everywhere he's been. So we're really excited about his energy and excited about what he brings to this not only our special teams unit, but to our program. And Jeff, he's a great man and got a great family. Again, his dad's a longtime coach, and so I'm excited about having that. A couple things, special teams, that I really want to talk about is we got to create a positive culture for being on special teams. And that's something that it's got to be instilled from me down, and so I'm excited about that these guys understanding the importance of playing special teams, and having that culture set in this program that this is the end thing to be a part of. Establish our core fundamentals in all phases of our special teams. Again, there's the buzzword again, and so while we may not be doing just full onslaught of for example, a true kickoff, we're going to work the fundamentals of the actual kickoff or the kickoff return. So that's just one small example of what we're going to do. Defensively, I know you had a chance to meet Kenny Ingram. First of all, a great man, a great family that brings far more to this program than just a football coach. And he fits us. He fits our culture. He fits what we need, and I'm excited about his background. I'm excited about his positiveness and the energy that he brings in this program. A former high school coach, a legendary high school coach in the Memphis area, which is part of our footprint, and will be a genuine asset to us in recruiting. And we all know the quality and the players that come out of the Memphis area. He played for Coach Caldwell, so there was a connection there, which is key. I'm excited about him, and then I'm really excited about how he's planning on developing his players both on and off the field. That's critical, and so we're bringing back a core group defensively. I'm really excited about. Obviously, we know Scooter and what he's brought to our defense. Sosa, Cam Curl, T.J. Smith, which has been an absolute phenomenal leader. Coming through winter conditioning, he and Scooter and Sosa have really stood out. Cam Curl is taken his experience and knowledge in my time around him since we've been back, and then tie that in with a talented group of young guys that maybe played a little bit, but man, this is their opportunity. And when you look at Joe Fouché and a Miles Mason, Bumper Poole, Ladarius Bishop, and Jaquez McQuillan, guys that we feel like that are going to come in and have a really sound year, but we got to have a great spring out of these guys. So challenging these young guys. We know the early enrollees. Eric Gregory has been very much a standout, and watching him, and obviously he brings such a physical presence. Mateo Soli has done a really good job adapting and moves well. Zach Williams is another one that is going through and got here in January and has really stepped in and picked up and is everything we expect of him, as all these guys. Two guys I also want to mention that I anticipate these guys coming in and having an immediate impact is Devin Bush and Greg Brooks. These are two guys that are quick, have been very impressive through our mat drills. So I'm excited defensively. I know Coach Chavis, again, we talked just strictly about we got to become fundamentally sound defensively. And so before we can add all this stuff, we're spending a lot of time this spring on just the intricate details of mastering that position, your position. So offensively, as we've mentioned, we've got to create and expand on our offensive identity. I know Coach Craddock probably talked a little bit to y'all last week about that as something that I'm very passionate about. We got to get this offense right. We're going to get this offense right. And we weren't as productive in any way, shape, form, or fashion that was up to our standard last year. And so I expect that to be a major emphasis, getting back to just our identity. Having Ben Hicks here is going to help us. As also having John Stephen Jones and Connor Nolan and Dalton. I mean, those guys in their second year, you would expect you're in your second year, expect things to be better. But I'm excited about that. I think that what we've seen already from the time we've got here in January to where we are right now has been far in advance of where we've been. And I say that in regards to these guys, the extra work they put in on their own. Offensive line depth. I know Coach Fry has probably said a little bit about that, but I think we've had 1 week since we've been here to where we had 10 offensive linemen at a practice that were on scholarship. And so to be able to come in and to know that we've got an opportunity to promote and demote on the spot from an offensive line standpoint will help us, creates competition, which is what we have to have. And to really settle in from Myron, Cunningham, Chaboise, and Drew Vest, those guys being able to come in here and help us out with the addition of the guys that have played a lot of ball. I mean, we want to put some pressure on those guys. We want to create competition and to see how they're going to respond. We'll tell you this, Colton Jackson and Shane Clennon have done a exceptionally they've done a really good job in quarter one. Now, how that's going to translate over into spring ball, I would expect no different. I would be highly disappointed if these two young men haven't carried that over into spring football starting into quarter two. They've been a pleasant surprise. Our skill guys, especially at wide receiver, another area that we brought in, obviously Shamar and Trey Knox. Those guys have brought a lot of energy, and they brought a lot of competition to our wide receiver room. And what I have seen is this. I've seen Davion Warren and Deion Stewart and Mike Woods, Jordan Jones, Colin Jackson. I've seen those guys have to elevate their game even more. And so there's a sense of urgency, so to speak, in that wide receiver room, which was good to see. All of them rose their game, and that's what you want. That's why you go out and recruit. And I think you've seen the recruits we brought in this building. And continue to bring in this building. And it ain't going to stop. We're going to continue to recruit at a high level. And it's not to threaten anybody. It's to know that this is what it's going to take to get this program right. And because you create competition and you raise someone else's game is what you're after. And so our running backs, all of them are back. Rakeem Boyd will not be a part of spring. T.J. Hammonds is not on the team. So Rakeem is out. Devwah Whaley, Chase Hayden, this is a tremendous opportunity for these young men in their second year to elevate their game. And we know the production that we had at tight end, and to see C.J. O'Grady back, Grayson Gunner. We moved Chase Harrell from wide receiver to tight end. He's actually bulked up. I think he's about 235 right now. Looks good. And so to be able to utilize his skill set and to carry on the production at a position that already has one of the premier, reception guys of a tight end across the country back. So, I'm excited. I know we'll open up for questions. I'm excited about this, and to just get these guys back on the field and to start this second spring. I know we're optimistic that we know we're going to be a better football team. We're a long way away, and we got a lot of work to do. But we're going to take one day at a time and to get there. So with that, I'll open up.
Chad, so that Earn the Logo idea has kind of gone viral across the country. How did that idea first come about?
Every day counts on the last day. And, you know, there's going to be a last day for you know, what December looks like. And all those days, every day counted. And so we started that way. We started with the word every. And then we started with the fact that we knew we were going to redo our locker room, and that we were going to have to transition them out of that locker room. And so it turned into, well, wait a minute, we're going to be in a visitor's locker room. Let's earn our way back. And then going back to some things that we've done. I've done in high school before. But the only way that it was going to be successful is we were all going to do it. We were all going to do it. And it wasn't just the players. It wasn't just the players and the strength staff. It was everybody. And so we started going with it and running with it. And when the players saw that, man, hey, Coach Morse is doing it too. I mean, it was Coach True's doing it. It was okay. Hey, now it creates a competition and accountability. And as I shared, you know, with our staff, I'll be the last guy that puts the gear back on. I'm still in my every gear right now.
Chad, what happened with Hammonds? Is he going to play somewhere else, or is he in the transfer portal, or what happened with him?
No, he's just not on the team right now.
Giving up football, or why did he decide not to play?
He's just not on the team. That's kind of where we're at, and is he going to play somewhere else? I don't know that.
And with Connor doing so well with baseball, how much do you anticipate him practicing with you guys, and do you have an idea when his first practice might be with football?
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be here Tuesday. You know, I would anticipate we may have him here Friday. But how about that guy? I mean, you know, what a heck of a start that not just him but our entire baseball team, and you know, it's impressive to watch him, and so I'm excited about him. But he'll be here, Bob. He's going to be here and be around.
Chad, who's going to take the first snap, first practice? Somebody's got to take the first snap.
You know, we hadn't even scripted that and hadn't even started that. I really couldn't tell you right now. I mean, I don't know. We'll get into that. I know we're working on installs right now. But you're talking about a quarterback, I assume? Yeah. So that I don't have a clue. But it'll be, you know, they'll rotate through, and I mean, they're all going to get an equal number of reps, and so we'll get to that probably this afternoon or tomorrow.
Ben Hicks, how has he been integrating with the guys? And I would guess that he's just got to learn some more lingo and stuff. Everything should come back after that, I guess.
Yeah, you know, one of the impressive things, just listening to him and the other guys talk, is, man, the continuity with him and the quarterbacks that are here, him and Connor and John Stephen and Dalton and Jack. I mean, Ben's actually shared that with me. He said, man, those guys, he's really welcomed him in, and he's brought a lot to their table as well, as far as teaching them on the different looks and the reads and what we're expecting. And so he's been a great addition to helping coach. And so he's coaching the coaches, or coaching the quarterbacks, and he's also coaching wide receivers when he's out there, and they're out there throwing on their own, and just, you know, those things like that. That's what you ask, and so he's demonstrating. It's what you're asking, and just sharing. You know, Ben sharing all that with me has been how the guys have been receptive to him. It's been good. So
no Hammonds and no Boyd, having maybe some running back depth issues for the spring, does that affect what you want to implement? Does that have an effect on that moving forward?
You know, no, not really. We'll move Jordan Curtis from corner to running back, which is what he played in high school, which will give us some depth there. But no, it's not. I mean, we've got to get fundamentally sound. We got to go back to the tracks of our zone, our outside zone, and power and counter. Those things like that have got to be. We got to perfect those things, and so regardless who's back there.
Last spring you brought such an emphasis on tempo to the offense. I mean, does that still hold this spring after last season? Yeah,
yes, it will. But we're gonna, you know, like I said, our main number one focus right now is the fundamentals. Now, will we get to the fastball and or what we call the red ball? Yeah, we'll get there. But we don't want to hurry up to mess up. And I think that maybe, you know, I don't want our players to lose focus of the fact we got to play so fast that we lose focus of the fundamentals. Let's get the fundamentals down, and then we'll increase the speed at which we play.
Coach, last week Coach Craddock mentioned that Chase Harrell's going to be moving from wide receiver to tight end. Are there any other players who could be moving around positions-wise?
Well, Jordan Curtis is going from corner to running back. Outside of that, I don't anticipate anyone else.
With Connor, when you get him out there, some guys only have so many bullets in their arms. How do you kind of work with that and what he's got to try to do on the weekend with baseball? I know you've kind of been planning on it, but once it gets there, how do you handle that?
Well, again, just communicating with him and how he feels, and obviously Coach Van Horn and their strength staff and Coach True and our strength staff have communicating. And so I think that's number one. It's making sure that he knows how his own body feels and to be able to communicate effectively with us. And not to overdo him. I mean, he's smart. He understands. Having him around and be around his teammates and be able to get the reps that he is getting in is critical.
The offensive line had issues, if you want to call them that, late in the year last year. You played some young guys, some freshmen, the last couple games. How have you seen them progress through spring or before spring practice, and what kind of rotation are you expecting through these 15 practices?
Well, I like I said earlier, I expect this group to be, Coach Fry probably said it best. I mean, to be able to promote and demote, hire and fire, whatever you want to say, on the spot, to be able to come out and come out with 2 and even 3 full units that you can put on the field. We've still got other guys in high school that are going to be coming. So I think that's going to allow some competition, and with competition comes a little bit rise of your sense of urgency, and so I think those things definitely help everybody. And so the rotation in which we want to settle in, and the quicker we can get to our 5, the better. But at the same sense, we got to develop some fundamentals. We got to go back and look, and as we did our quality control study of things we didn't do good, and expand on it. And was it scheme? Was it technique? Was it fundamentals? What was it? And so that's what we've spent the last several weeks going back and looking at, and then devising a plan of what is our one focus. I don't need 9 focuses. I need one focus, and it goes back to our fundamentals. We got to get better.
You mentioned Rakeem's going to be out for the spring. I think we knew Brito and Briston. Are there any other guys that are dealing with injuries and aren't going to be able to go through spring?
No. A no contact will be Hayden Henry. Micah Smith will be a no contact, but they'll be out there in drill work. Kirby Adcock with his hip will not be a part. Audrey Horn, toe, won't be out. But really, that's Cameron Vale with a foot. But that's really it right there.
As far as Scooter, just how much you kind of count on him being really the foundation of your defense, or a big part of it?
Yeah, a whole lot. A whole lot. He's taken on a leadership role that he's been challenged with through Coach Chavis and through myself, and to understand that you are a returning player that's an all-conference guy, that now we need you to elevate everything you do, and he gets it and he understands it, and not only that, but he's moving better than I've ever seen him move right now.
Hey, Jim, you said Connor Friday. Do you mean like the first Friday, like this Friday? Because he probably won't pitch till Saturday.
Right,
I think.
right.
So
He could be out there Friday. I have not. Like I said, I hadn't gotten with him, but I would expect him to be around. If not, if baseball doesn't have anything going on, or they're traveling, or what that.
He'll be playing, but he won't be pitching.
Right.
So, and then how are the early enrollees? How have they kind of integrated themselves into the program, and what do you expect from those guys this spring?
Well, we slowly brought them in. I think that's another thing that we did really well. I asked our strength staff to give me 3 things that we did really well on in quarter 1. Today they shared that with me. Obviously, the mandatory breakfast was huge. 2 was how we integrated the new Hogs and the early enrollees, the true freshmen and guys that are coming in, being a part of our program, and slowly integrating them in with everybody and bringing them into the fold. So you say, well, what do you mean by that? It's when they got in, you wanted to bring them and get them up to speed with everyone else, teach them the technique, show them and teach them our culture and what accountability means. And if you do mess up, you mess up in your small group here before we get you into the entire team setting. And so I think that's really helped. And once they got there, they already knew what to expect. And I want to give credit to our current players because they've done a really good job of opening up their arms to these 12 guys that came in. They've done a good job welcoming them in.
Coach, Connor Nolan and Coach Van Horn were appreciative that you came down and watched him throw, I don't know, maybe a bullpen or two. And Dave said you knew baseball and you had questions about what was going on and you seemed to be getting into the spirit of what they were doing. Can you recall those and what's your level of baseball knowledge?
I played it. Obviously, it wasn't quite as good as Connor, but yeah, obviously, I love baseball. I love all sports, and I love to watch guys compete, whatever sport it is. It doesn't matter, and maybe that's part of being a high school coach. You encourage your players to, if you can do multiple sports, man, you're competing. What part of competing at any sport do we not want? I mean, we want guys that want to compete, and that's why we encourage high school players across the country, man, go play multiple sports, go compete. Whatever that may be, powerlifting, go powerlift. It doesn't, go compete. And so to be able to watch one of our own and Connor going down and competing and watching how special this young man is, I mean, I'm excited. I mean, and they're having success and winning. He's going to bring a winning attitude back to us. Man, hey, again, you love those things.
Will Justice Hill go through spring football, and if so, at what position?
Yeah, yes, he will. Obviously we're going to get to the point of when he'll be out. We'll wait and see on all that. I've met with him, talked with him, and it'll be at the position that he feels that and that we both feel that he can contribute. I've left it up to him. If he wants to come out and whether it's corner, wide receiver, quarterback, running back, whatever it may be, we know he's an athlete that's had a lot of success, won a state championship, and again, anytime you can have a guy on your team like that, we're excited about. So now the thing is, I would anticipate him is probably going to be right before spring break, before he gets out.
How does that work with him, since he was not on scholarship now with basketball, but going on scholarship? How does that work with what?
It doesn't affect us any. So he'll just come on over.
So on the sports psychology side of things, since a lot of these guys are new and haven't started before, how does that help the collective mindset of the team since they didn't really play necessarily an active part in a 2-win season?
Well, I think the thing that it does for those guys is all they know is the culture they walked in the front door on. That's all they know. That's their expectations. And so to be able to come in and not have to relearn something, this is what they know, they can now focus on here's what's asked of me, here's our expectations, here's what I got to do, and now I get to go out and perform on the field. So, 2 more.
What kind of conversations have you had with Mike Anderson about justice? Because we asked him a few weeks ago, and he said he hadn't yet talked to you about it or anything.
Yeah, we're going to wait till after everything is over with and get together on that. I know that Justice and them and Coach Anderson is, they've talked a little bit, and so we're going to kind of wait until after the season.
Chad, I know that tempo was mentioned a while ago, and I want to kind of hit that again with this going into your second spring and having a quarterback, Hicks, who is familiar with your system. How much more of a comfort level do you have with him and running your offense and being able to do things maybe last spring you were not able to do?
Well, I think a comfort level from all our quarterbacks that are back. Ben obviously played in this system for 3 years, but there's some things he's still got to improve on and learn as well. But to be able to have the guys that have been in this system that are returning, to be able to come back and to grow and rise and kind of rise their level of knowledge and urgency of learning this offense and allow us to expand it even more. So, yeah, I think it does. I think it all just feeds off each other. What does it do? It creates competition. We're always in a quarterback market. I've already said that. So anytime you can continue to create competition, man, wow, that excites you. All right. Look forward to seeing y'all Friday.